Okay, this is how to change this bulb to an LED one. Basically, in the T30 there's a little slot there. You can see I've had this in and out several times. So I've used a screwdriver in the past. It needs to be something quite small to get in there. Screwdriver is fine, but you will potentially scrape that bit of plastic slightly. Pop that in there and leave that down, and it will come out. This is probably a bit wide in fairness. And that pulls out. Just leave us down that way. Put it back in is the reverse. You can see there's some lugs on that edge. So to get it back in, you put those lugs in first. Go right the way up in there, and then you just push that back up, clip it back in. So once you're in there, there's your bulb. It will be quite hot if it's been on. I've already changed mine to an LED some months ago. I can't find the old one to put back in to show you, but obviously the connection's the same. You better turn it off, just to make sure you don't short anything out. And then if you look in there, there's a little bayonet lug just there, right on there. And you need to push that in that direction and rotate it. And you rotate it through 90 degrees, and then it comes out. Sorry it's a bit fiddly, especially with my massive thumbs. Try and get that to focus. So that's the unit it goes into. So there's little lugs on the side, little large areas on the side where the bayonet goes into. So that's the unit that it is. I've bent this one a little bit. That's the LED replacement. The original bulb's got the same bayonet fitting on the bottom, just a normal bulb on the top. Let's go and have a look at that on the workbench and have a quick Google just to check the dimensions on it. So that's the LED bulb in mine. And basically it's got about a 9mm diameter there, bayonet fitting, and the overall length on there is about 29mm. So we'll head over to the oldie Google and get some details on that. So you can buy your bulbs from anywhere. eBay is a good place to start. Like I know the model number of these, so I want to search for them. You have a look down until you find the bayonet ones. You can type the word bayonet in if you want to. Once you go to that, you can see the names. It's called a 233 bulb, a T4 bulb, or a BA9s. Ideally pick one with a decent description. You can have different colours with this one. You've also got the dimensions there, so you can tell it's 9mm diameter, 27mm tall. And of course, once you know that name, what it's called, a T4W or BA9s for this particular one. The rear ones in my Xtrail are different to this. I will do a video on that if you keep an eye on the channel. But then you can just search on that and you'll get just the ones, or you should get mainly the ones. So that's the type that I've got fitted into my car. Of course, you can then go to your preferred light bulb supplier and get the bulbs that you want. Back to the workshop. And then to put this back in, exactly the same. What I have found on these sometimes, that the bulb will sometimes flicker on and off. And that's often because the connection's not very tight. So you can bend that. That's the earth connection. Well, that's a power connection actually, that's the earth. You can bend that. What you want to do is make sure it's off. Because if that happens to be on and you bend that and touch that piece of metal there, then you are going to short it. So make sure it's off, and you can just bend that forward a bit. Just puts a little bit more pressure in the system. Okay, and then you get the lugs go sideways like that. It's very hard to do this with one hand. There you go. So look, and it goes in, and you push it in. You need to push it back a bit, like that, and then rotate it through 90 degrees. I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. There you go, and you can see the lug coming round. Oh yeah, bugger. And that lug there should come all the way around into that slot. and then when you turn it on, it comes on. If you're really struggling, like with that connection at the back being loose, you can leave it like that, although in theory it can vibrate loose. You better have that little recess there. You can see there it's a bit loose there because I've bent that out. So I'm going to put a bit of, make sure it's off, put a bit of bend in that. Just force it forwards. You can see here what I mean about it being loose, because that's loose now. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to take that. See, if it's like that, it's fine. So I'm going to do this again off camera because I can't do it one-handed. So I'm basically going to take that out, turn that off, and then I'm going to bend that lug forwards as hard as I can. If you need to, bend it forward nearer the root. So a little plastic bender, and just shove that in there. Okay, and then put your ball back in, as we just said. I'm going to do it with two hands so I don't make the same mistake again and push it too far. So as you can see there, it was still flickering a little bit then. So rather than just levering that back part forward, again with the light off so you don't spark anything out, rather than just leaving that back part forward, what you can also do is just get in there, and on the sides of that you can push that main body backwards, and it'll just, there's little rivets at the top holding it in, it'll just bend a little bit on those rivets. Don't go mad with it, and that just puts a little bit more pressure there. So push that back, not like that, push that back that way, push that back. So I'm pushing that in that direction, just tightens the whole bracket up. Turn it on, there you go. That's a lot more solid now. That's not coming flicking on and off. Obviously, if you need to, you could always take this whole unit off, put it in the garage, put it on the bench, which I have got a video on that. If you just have a search, and you put that back in, make sure those lugs go up inside there, and just roll that back into position, click, done, and put it back on door. So it works with the door. Next video, or another video, I will be doing the ones in the rear, changing those to LEDs. At the moment they're not. They're a different type of bulb on this one. Let me know obviously if yours aren't different types of bulb. Be interesting to know if all T30s are the same bulb types or not, and in different countries. Otherwise I'll see you on the next video.